We're back talking about hearing loss with UF audiologist Dr. Patricia Kricos. And I'm pleased to introduce Kevin Still, UF Doctor of Audiology student. And I'm pleased to have you both here, Kevin and Patricia, back with us, and more to explore about this subject. So, Pat, tell us a bit about audiology. How do you explain it?
Okay, well, audiology, it's actually a relatively new field. It actually started right after World War II, when so many vets were coming back with hearing loss, and the Army hospitals were like, wow, what do we do about this? And that was the birth of the field of audiology. So we started out as a helping profession, trying to help people who have hearing loss. And since then, it has grown so much. We now go from newborn hearing screening all the way up to working with older adults with hearing loss. The field has a lot of involvement with diagnostic of hearing and balance problems, and then also a big focus too is on treatment of hearing difficulties and balance issues.
Okay, so a lot to attract someone like Kevin.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's part of the reason it's so attractive to, well, all the students in my program, is because there's so many different types of things you can do, from working in the doctor's office or a hospital type setting to hosting groups and providing outreach in a bunch of different ways, working in schools.
Right.
There's a lot of different ways you can go.
And what is the program you're in right now, pursuing your Doctor of Audiology? How long will it go on?
It's a four-year program, right? 3 years of working directly with audiologists in clinics, and of course taking lots of classes with people like Dr. Kricos.
Yes.
And then 1 full year of working essentially as a full-time audiologist. It's called an externship.
Okay.
So.
Excellent.
Yes.
So it's a lot to look forward to, and looks like you picked a good career choice according to U.S. News and World Report. They're ranking it way up there.
Absolutely.
Top 10.
Absolutely.
But does that mean a lot of us, because the population is aging, there's more people with hearing loss out there?
A lot of it has to do with that, right? A lot has to do with the fact that we can help people so much more now, I think. You know, with newborn babies, and they can receive cochlear implants by the time they're 12 months of age, and it's just so much going on in the field that I think that's why people are so interested in it.
A lot of development, positive.
Very positive.
And now, tell me about the course that you orchestrate, the Living with Hearing Loss. What is that like? How's it set up, Pat?
That program is set up as a 4-week program, and it really is set up to be a collaborative problem-solving program. I try to encourage the students and myself, as Kevin will say, to really try to talk less than 30% of the time. We want the folks who come to this program, which is open to anybody in the community, we want them to learn different strategies, to learn from each other, to share their experiences. And I think Kevin will be able to talk about, you know, what the structure of the program is.
All right.
Kevin.
Yeah, well, the first year students at UF actually put the program together and host it. And it's set up, as she said, in a 4-week session. And what you do at the very beginning, essentially, is talk about some of the problems that people with hearing loss have communicating with other people and out in the community, some of the problem areas. And then as the course moves along, we try and give them some practical advice. But really, the bulk of it, I think, is having the folks with hearing loss actually sharing their stories, sharing tips and solutions, practical ideas. And I think the biggest benefit that they see, perhaps, is just knowing that they're not alone in this problem.
Exactly, that they can compare notes, learn from each other.
Absolutely.
When you think about it, and Lynn has told me, hearing loss, it's 24/7. Even when you go to sleep at night, you would be able to hear if that were so. So you have to adjust your whole life, which can still be done. It just takes assistance and a lot of coordination about what you do and when you do it. And so there's just like answering the telephone or hearing the doorbell ring.
Absolutely.
All of these things.
We try and give some practical tips on stuff just like that in the Living with Hearing Loss class. And a lot of the people are actually surprised to find out that there's so many resources available to them right here in Gainesville. And I think that's really helpful for them.
One of the things we do too in our Living with Hearing Loss, we encourage significant others, family members, to come too. And I always like to, Kevin's heard this quote from me a million times, I think, and he's only a first-year student, but Mark Ross is a very famous audiologist, very active with the Hearing Loss Association of America. He was one of the vets who came back from World War II with no hearing, or very little hearing, I should say. And he has a quote, or something he said once when he was talking to me. He said, you know, when somebody in the family has a hearing loss, the entire family has a hearing problem. So that is so true, because now if my husband is hearing impaired, I can't yell from the other room, it's time for dinner. I can't whisper something in the movie theater like, oh, you know, isn't this just a terrible movie? Because he's not going to hear it. So it really affects me too as a wife.
So the whole family's got to get on the program.
Right. So we always try to get people, and very often we do have the wives and sometimes the daughters come, and that really helps a lot.
That is outstanding. I can see where it would make a difference.
It really does.
And now, and I know, talking about making a difference, Kevin, that you and other students work with the Gainesville chapter, right, of the Hearing Loss Association?
We do. Actually, we're excited this year. The Walk for Hearing, as we'll be talking about, is going to be here in Gainesville, and the students are getting really, really involved in that, and we're really excited about it. Our student group, the Student Academy of Audiology, does community service outreach every year, and this year we're really focusing on working with the Hearing Loss Association of Gainesville to make this a great event. All I had to do really was just ask students via an email if I could get some help with this. I was flooded with responses. We have students who are going to be working in every facet of the walk, and people are raising money and asking me questions about it, and asking if their spouses and significant others can come and walk, and can they bring dogs, and everyone's getting really excited about it. So yeah, we're excited to have that relationship.
And Pat, real quickly, Rocky Stone.
Oh, Rocky Stone, my hero. Rocky Stone was a hearing impaired person who got tired of hard of hearing people just being kind of ignored. The attention back in the 70s was primarily on people who were deaf. And so he was the one who formed this national organization called Self-Help for Hard of Hearing. It's now referred to as the Hearing Loss Association of America. But he said to people who are hard of hearing, stand up and demand your rights, and you have the right to hear. And so if you are working in a workplace, you have the right to have accommodations made. So he was just this real advocate. He passed away a few years ago, but what a wonderful man.
But he was quite a leader.
Yeah, terrific.
Well, you are doing a great deal for those in our community with hearing loss, and I congratulate you. And you too, Kevin. Thank you both. Stay with us. We'll be right back.